They're in the holiday spirit here in Charlotte as we get set for the Panthers and the Bucs on a 54-degree afternoon. Ron Rivera's Panthers can clinch a playoff berth with a victory today. Carolina won the toss, elected to defer, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will get the ball first. The season by winning 2 of their first 3, but just 2-9 since. Graham Gano will get things started for the Panthers, who beat the Bucs 17-3 back in late October. Carolina leads the all-time. Bucs swept last season. Panthers 10-4, Bucs 4-10. We are underway in Charlotte. Jameis Winston and the Bucs offense will start at their 25-yard line. In our open rendezvous, we talked about Winston's game on Monday night. Completed a career-high 77% of his passes and the second highest QB rating of his career in the game against the Falcons. Peyton Barber in the backfield. Doug Martin is active today. First and 10 from the 25-yard line for Tampa Bay. Winston in trouble, rolling to his right, stays on his feet. Now he throws back across the field, and the catch is made by Barber. Gains a yard. Kurt Coleman, the tackle.
Well, we know one thing about the Carolina defense. They are going to blitz 43% of the time. That was Shaq Thompson running through the gap and getting on Jameis Winston. But this is the one thing you really do admire about Jameis Winston, his ability to escape the pocket, extend plays, and really didn't get much on that, but saved what would have been an opening sack.
Second down at 9. Alan Cross in at fullback. The handoff to Barber. And Peyton Barber works his way out to the 30-yard line for a gain of 4. Shaq Thompson brought him down, so Jameis Winston and the Bucs now facing a 3rd down and 5.
And this offense was on fire in the second half of that game last week. When they needed it, Jameis Winston was at his best. You start this game, you get to a 3rd and 5 situation, working against an aggressive Carolina defense. Let's see what he has in store for him here.
Missing 3 starting offensive linemen, all on injured reserve. Bunch formation to the left, Charles Sims lined up to the right of Winston. Bucs must get to the 35. Winston throws, far side complete. Mike Evans for a Buccaneers first down, gain of 17.
Well, you get these bunch formations at the top of your screen to really get the man-to-man coverage off you. And it's going to be James Bradbury, I think, most of the day that's going to track Mike Evans. He's big, long, but Mike Evans with that bunch formation and a very accurate throw from Jameis Winston, able to pick up the first down.
Evans shaken up after picking up the first down. From the 47, it's Barber. Looks to cut it back inside, and he's followed up by Luke Kuechly. Loss of 5 on the play.
Mike Evans back in the game, and just at the end of this play, he immediately went to the sideline and not sure what it was. I know he came in beat up from last week, maybe an ankle. Bradbury's around his lower leg there, but he is back in the game. Now this Carolina defense, without Thomas Davis, you're going to see a lot of Colin Jones. He just made that play on that last snap. Very active player. Captain Munnerlyn hitting the slot now, though.
Thomas Davis serving a suspension following his hit on Devontae Adams of the Packers last week. Second down at 15 with an empty backfield. Winston hit as he throws. Ball comes loose and it is recovered by the Panthers. Brian Cox Jr. on the recovery following the hit by Wes Horton.
Well, Jameis is holding the ball a little long here, Kenny. You'll see Wes Horton working it right in on Caleb Benenoch. Just too much time. The ball is clearly out. I think that's going to stay as a fumble. Got an open hand. Yes, that's the right call on the field. And the Carolina defense do a great job taking the football away. They start off this game with another one.
For Wes Horton, that's his 5th sack, his 3rd forced fumble. Cox on the recovery. So the Bucs turn it over on their opening possession.
Well, they come into this game, Kenny, 3rd in the league in sacks. And I've mentioned twice already that they're a pressure team, but they have the bodies up front to rush with 4. Play coverage on the back end. That's what you saw there. Takeaway for this Carolina team.
Only the Jaguars and the Rams have more sacks than the Carolina Panthers. Panthers start from the 33. This is Christian McCaffrey up the middle for a gain of 4 on first down. 10 wins for Newton and the Panthers this season. 21 touchdown passes, and he's run for 5 more.
Well, I think the key statement there, Kenny, is that he's run. I know there was a time where people were trying to protect Cam Newton. Not anymore.
2nd down and 6. Newton over the middle. Devin Funchess just shy of the marker.
Look how close this is, Kenny. Quan Alexander right here in coverage. Cam throws us a little behind him. It's an interception, but Devin Funchess has taken on such a bigger role in this offense since the trade midseason. Yards per catch have gone up. His reliability has really gone up. You put a lot on this young man. He's answered the call for this Panthers offense.
3rd down and 1. It's Newton on the sneak. And for more on Cam Newton, who picked up the first down, we head down to the field. Christina Pink.
Well, Kenny, you can't talk Carolina ground game without talking Cam Newton. There was a time where the hot topic was, do you preserve Cam by keeping him in the pocket? Well, not a discussion anymore. He actually had 200 more rushing yards in the last 7 games than he had early in the season. He told us coming into this game that he told coach, use me. Use me. He was upset that he felt too fresh after some games early in the season. He said, I never wanted to be a prototypical quarterback. I just wanted to win football games.
Next, Christina, he's rushed for over 600 yards this season to lead all NFL quarterbacks. He handed off to McCaffrey. Tries to cut to the outside, but he's wrapped up by Chris Conti, playing in his 100th NFL game, and a flag came in at the end of the play. Jerome Bolger, our referee today.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask. Defense, number 23. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
You'll see it right after the spin. Underneath on the face mask of McCaffrey, that is a garden variety. There's no other variety anymore, right? It's all 15-yard personal foul penalties. You get your hand in the face mask, but the one thing you will notice all day today with this Bucs defense, yes, they're down. Bunch of bodies. They haven't played well, but they have been fighting this entire season, even despite the disappointment that this is.
Newton down after a short gain at the 11-yard line. As we take a look at the Panthers offense. 2nd straight game without right guard Trey Turner.
Yeah, but what they do have is Ryan Khalil. He has been an anchor inside for this team for a lot of years, and Cam Newton told us the running game has been better because of him. He's a vet. He understands how to communicate there. He's a tough guy. He is leading a really good unit. This team has run the ball so effectively here the past month and a half of the season.
Panthers are without wide receiver Russell Shepard, a former Tampa Bay Buck. This is Funchess. Devin Funchess, his 2nd catch down at the 8-yard line. So it will be 3rd down and 2 for Carolina, who've scored a touchdown on their opening possession, Rondé, in each of their last 3 games.
Definitely benefited from the play of their defense, getting the ball back to him here on a short field. You got a 3rd and 7 here down in the red zone, and Greg Olsen, he's back in the fold. Look for him to get targeted here.
Newton looking on 3rd down. He takes off, he stumbles, and he will not get there. Pressure from Will Clark. So the Panthers will send out the field goal unit.
Well, good coverage really on Greg Olsen, and this is who he looking for when he dropped back. But again, I give credit to this Bucs defense. TJ Ward starting for Justin Evans, who went on IR this week. The pocket starts to collapse, and really fortunate that Cam Newton slips there. He was going to fall in for a touchdown. Good job by this Bucs defense getting off the field on that sudden change situation with that turnover on offense.
So here's Graham Gano. He's only missed one all season. Highest percentage in the league. Chip shot from 25 yards out. Panthers lead 3-0. Well, Carolina capitalizes on the turnover, but Cam Newton was hoping for 7. There's Panthers owner Jerry Richardson, who announced last Sunday, Rondé, that he will put the team up for sale after the season following multiple allegations of workplace misconduct.
Oh, we talked about it in the open briefly, just how tough of a week it has been, but a lot of guys have personal relationships with Mr. Richardson, and the distraction really is that these guys had to answer to it. Again, I do like what Cam Newton said, focusing on the football game at hand. They're trying to make a run to the playoffs, and they got a game to win. They'll put all that on the back burner until after the season.
Carl Sims on the return of the short kickoff out to the 24. And Ron Rivera told us the focus was on football this week at the Panthers facility.
It really has to be, Kenny. I mean, I never had a distraction like this, but this team has dealt with adversity this year. They're dealing with it this week with Thomas Davis being suspended, having to make up for some of the things that Kelvin Benjamin trade earlier in the year. And really, you talk to a lot of their players, and they say they're equipped for this. They've dealt with situations this year already. They can get through this one. They can get through any of them.
Panthers lead 3-0. They clinch a playoff spot with a victory today. First and 10 from the 24-yard line as Winston hands off to Peyton Barber. Picks up just one. Wes Horton, who had the sack and forced fumble earlier on the tackle.
Well, you look at this Bucs lineup, some patchwork things going on. Caleb Benenoch starting, Joe Holly going in at center. But the guy you want to focus on is Anthony Auclair. He's a rookie from Canada. O.J. Howard goes to IR, and this is a 2 tight end offense here in Tampa. Dirk Cutter loves to focus on those 2 players, and he's going to have to take on a much bigger role today. It'd be exciting to see him get his opportunity.
Quiz Rogers in the backfield, takes the handoff. Gain of 2. Out to the 27. 3rd down and 7 coming up for the Bucs against the 5th-rated Carolina Panthers defensive unit.
This is a good unit. Starts up front, obviously. Julius Peppers, K'Wan Short, great players, and I mentioned it earlier. Colin Jones assuming a much bigger role in this defense because Shaq Thompson was out. Now with Thomas Davis out, he has to play some linebacker. He had an interception last week. He's a very good piece for this unit. It all starts with that man, though. Luke Kuechly, the man in the middle of this Panthers D.
Heading to his 5th Pro Bowl. 3rd down and 7. Winston, soft touch. Catch made by Adam Humphries for a Tampa Bay 1st down.
No more reliable receiver on this team than Adam Humphries. He's not going to have the big numbers, of course, because of the weapons outside, but great choice option runner. We're going to play man-to-man on Adam Humphries with the safety and Adams there. Good chance he wins. Good sticks throw. Another 1st down conversion for the Bucs offense.
52nd reception of the season for Humphries. Bucs send in 66. Leonard Wester has an extra blocker with 3 tight ends. Peyton Barber up the middle. Out to the 40-yard line. Gain of 4. We mentioned Carolina without right guard Trey Turner. And Russell Shepard and Thomas Davis serving that suspension.
Jack Thompson really could do everything. Play all 3 positions on this defense. Very versatile young man.
2nd down and 6. Palmer has a 1st down and more. One man to beat. It's Coleman. And Coleman forces Palmer out of bounds inside the 30. Ball spotted at the 26-yard line as Barber goes for a season-long 34 yards.
Oh, Peyton Barber has really assumed this running back role and done excellent with it. Not much of a burner in space, but when you get this type of blocking, you see Alan Cross with the block sealing the safety Adams there and springs the runner, and big gain for this Bucs offense. You gotta like what you're seeing out of Peyton Barber here the last month of the season. They know they're excited about him.
Taking over as the starter for Doug Martin. Humphries on the wide receiver screen. Chased out of bounds by Coleman after a gain of 6.
Well, a lot of people talk about the maturity of Jameis Winston and where he comes. When I watch them on film, they have a lot of run plays called. This was a run. When he sees the numbers aren't favorable outside, he picks it up and throws it to Humphries and picks up a positive yardage on first down. This is where they got to get better, Kenny. They make these drives. They've got to be able to finish when they get down near the red area.
2nd and 4, it's Barber up the middle. At first by Kyle Love. And that's a word that we heard from Jameis Winston, from Dirk Cutter. We need to finish.
Well, at times they've been a good red zone offense. Cam Brate, we know what type of receiver he is when he gets down there. You see him standing behind Dirk Cutter there on the sideline, so he's not in the equation on this play, but got to be able to throw the ball into the end zone. Mike Evans is available. One-on-one, top of your screen, working on James Bradbury.
1st and 10 from the 16-yard line of Carolina. It's Barber with Cross leading the way. No gain.
I think this is the type of game that it's going to be. This offense obviously exploded last week with the way Jameis threw the football, but they'll stay committed to the running game. I think in this type of game, you're on the road, you're just trying to find a way to win. You've lost a bunch of close games. The running game, or effective running game, can be to your advantage. They will not abandon it, even though they're inside the red area.
They've lost 4 straight, their last 3 by a combined 12 points. Winston on 2nd down, complete, it's Evans. He came back to make the catch, and he'll be marked down at the 13-yard line. 2nd catch today, and number 300 of Mike Evans' career in only his 4th season.
Are you the only one laughing, or were we the only ones laughing at comments from Jameis Winston saying that he's got to apologize to Mike Evans this week? I mean, the guy still gets a ton of targets, leads this team by a large margin.
Jameis said, I haven't gotten to him enough. 2 today for Evans, 3rd down and 7. Bucs must get to the 6 for a first down. Winston with time, he throws, and there is a flag as Evans was tripped up.
Pass interference. Offense, number 13. That penalty decline. 4th down.
So it's against Evans, and the Bucs will have to settle for a field goal attempt.
2 big PIs last week by Mike Evans, and he's just really got to get out of the habit of this. He gets to the top of his route, and he always wants to put his hands on the defender. He just doesn't need to. His body's big enough. He's got a great catch radius. He's going to make contested catches anyways. That habit hits him again.
So here's Patrick Murray, a 31-yard attempt from the left hash. Murray's kick is good, so we are tied at 3. Offensive pass interference on Evans. Bucs settle for 3. Panthers clinch a playoff berth with a victory today. So can both the Saints and the Falcons. New Orleans out to a 3-0 lead.
I don't think there's any question what the toughest division in football has been this year. The NFC South. Now 3 teams could possibly make the playoffs, and one of them could be out. This is going to be a great final 2 weeks of the season for Atlanta, Carolina, and New Orleans.
They all play each other next week as well. Demir Bird on the return for Carolina. Out to the 20-yard line. What a tremendous race it has been in the NFC South. Saints clinch the division with a win and a Carolina loss. Panthers in with a win, so are the Falcons.
I think the most important thing out of all these graphics going up, flashing in front of your face, is that either one of these teams, all 3 of them really, win and they're in the playoffs. The other one, obviously, in that Atlanta-New Orleans game is going to have to find a way to get a W in Week 17. And New Orleans plays at Tampa, and then the big game in the South is Carolina-Atlanta.
3-3 here in Charlotte. Newton from the shotgun. Panthers start from the 20-yard line. It's McCaffrey for a gain of 3 as we head to Los Angeles for a game break. Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kenny. We head to Tennessee following a Marcus Mariota interception. Jared Goff finds a very familiar target in Todd Gurley for a 3-yard score. Rams new kicker would miss the extra point. Rams clinch the NFC West with the win. They're up 6-0.
All right, thanks, Carissa. What a season for the Rams, 10-4. And as Carissa mentioned, they clinched the division with a victory today. Funchess makes the catch. Met immediately by Chris Conti. And the 26-yard line, gain of 3.
Just Funchess on a little drag route. No man-to-man. You see Conti come out of the middle of the hole and take that pass off in the zone coverage. And yeah, Devin Funchess has been fun to watch here the last month and a half, 2 months of this season. Just really excited about what he can be. I mean, look at him physically. He's imposing. He can go up and make the 50-50 catches. And I think the real impetus for the trade was that he's a better athlete than Kelvin Benjamin. They liked him going forward better than the other guy.
Benjamin now in Buffalo. Newton can't find anyone. 3rd down and 4. He is taken down by Gerald McCoy, who is heading to his 6th consecutive Pro Bowl.
And this is just a workman's sack here by Gerald McCoy. Gets double teamed at the beginning. He's right in front of Kendall Beckwith. You can't see him. I'm sorry, he's on the other side. It's a spin move by Gerald McCoy. And that agility for a guy at that size, amazing. Playing with a partially torn bicep. He knows it. Just got to appreciate a guy like Gerald McCoy, right? He's going to the Pro Bowl. No reason to be playing in this football game. Goes out and gets an early sack for his defense.
Their catch called for by Humphries. Bucs last in the league in sacks. McCoy has 6 of their 19. Big sack by Gerald McCoy as the Bucs look to play the role of spoiler.
There's something to be said about playing hard in December. And Gerald McCoy was so emotionally upset when he tore that bicep. And glad to see him fighting through it and playing today.
Doug Martin on the field for the first time. Winston can't find anyone. And then he throws it out of bounds. There is a flag. It was in the vicinity of Chris Godwin.
Holding. Defense, number 24. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's James Bradbury, who grew up with Jameis Winston.
Well, get to the hold in a second, but this is a really makeshift offensive line for the Bucs, and protection's great. Look at Evan Smith fighting off, rush inside, and here's the hold. It's Godwin right here. You see Bradbury just grab him just a touch when he makes that move to get outside. The penalty is first down Tampa.
From midfield, over the middle, it's Godwin for a Tampa Bay first down to the Carolina 35. Rookie out of Penn State. Starting today for the injured Deshaun Jackson. Age 15 as the clock winds down with the Bucs on the move. And that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Each team with a field goal. 3-3. We head to the second in Charlotte. 3-3 as we start the second quarter. Panthers ran only 9 plays. They've been outgained by the Bucs, 95 yards to 8. Carolina had a short field following the turnover. Kicked a field goal. And now the Buccaneers in Panthers territory. Play action on first down, and it's Mike Evans who makes the catch. Picks up another first down for the Bucs to the Panthers 22-yard line.
Jameis Winston has really turned into a good play-action passer, and it helps when you have good protection, of course, but just the mechanics of his play-action, I think, has improved as this season's gone on. See, he comes right out of hitting his back foot, and he's ready to throw this football. This is a great route by Mike Evans. The stems get Bradbury spun around, and falls on him right when he comes out of his break. Great execution by this Bucs offense.
Winston has started this game 7 of 8. Martin in the backfield, 1st and 10, 22-yard line, his first carry. He was suspended from last week's game for a violation of team rules.
And they've been very coy on what that violation was. And obviously he has not been as effective as a runner as they were all hoping that he would be coming back from that early game suspension. And Peyton Barber, as we've mentioned, has taken over that starting role. But what he does bring you, Kenny, is a lot of energy. Guy has a lot of heart. I've played with Doug Martin. I know this. Hopefully he gets an opportunity to right the ship here in his career.
Suspended for the first 3 games of the season and then deactivated last week. 2nd down and 6. Rodgers in the backfield. Winston in trouble with the snap. Panthers have recovered. That's the 2nd Tampa Bay turnover.
New center in town. Obviously Joe Hawley has been here for many years as a center, but Ali Marpet goes to IR. Center quarterback exchange. Not working today. Another takeaway for this Panthers defense. 7-year-old Julius Pepper still getting it done here in Carolina, but this takeaway or giveaway by the Bucs is all on Jameis Winston there. You see the snap is perfect. His hands are just closing before. I got to tell you, 10 sacks for Julius Peppers this year, that's amazing.
Recovered the fumble. Now Newton on 1st down. Newton out to the 23-yard line. Clinton McDonald brought him down. Gain of 4.
Well, one thing, watch Kendall Beckwith here. Somebody's always got to keep an eye on Cam Newton because as much as they're using him as a runner, it's his scramble ability that scares you. I don't think anybody, right? We're talking with Mike Smith last night. Nobody's really signing up for that job to spy Cam Newton, but Kendall Beckwith is the guy on this roster. He's got the speed. He's obviously got the size to do it. Keep an eye on that matchup all day today.
Mike Smith, the Bucs defensive coordinator. On 2nd down, it's Jonathan Stewart. Stewart's first carry today. So the Panthers now facing a 3rd down and 4.
And Jonathan Stewart's role is somewhat diminished because of the emergence of Christian McCaffrey, but he still comes in as the leading rusher on this team, and you need to hammer, put a nail in a game. It is definitely going to be number 28 for Carolina, but with Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey, the dynamic element that they bring, they're getting a lot of snaps here on this Carolina offense.
Stewart, the all-time leading rusher in franchise history. Newton on 3rd down looking for Olsen. A flag is thrown. T.J. Ward defending.
T.J. Ward may have been a second early, trying to come over the back of Greg Olsen here.
Pass interference. Defense, number 36. Spot the foul, automatic. 1st down.
He said 36, but it was 43 Ward.
I didn't see pass interference on Robert McClain,
No.
so
He was out in space. So a new set of downs for Carolina. Olsen out of the 40-yard line for a gain of 11. And a Panthers first down as we check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt?
All right, the Detroit Lions, in order to make the playoffs, need to win out and get some help. But first, you got to win out. They're off to a good start in Cincinnati. Eric Ebron, 33-yard touchdown for Matthew Stafford. They lead at 7-0 right now, ready to start the 2nd quarter. Kenny, Rondé, and Christina.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Lions look to win their 3rd straight. Newton keeps it. And he gains 4 out to the 44-yard line.
no harder task than this really kind of triple option that the Carolina Panthers have lined up here. You got to honor the fake. Cam Newton getting out in space. He's got an option to give it to Christian McCaffrey, and that was a great job by the Bucs D, just stringing this thing out, giving their defense time to rally. No yardage.
Welcome down in 6, movement prior to the snap.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Ryan Russell.
Of course, Ryan Russell starting at defensive end because Robert Ayers is out with that shoulder injury he got on Monday night.
Newton picks up another Carolina first down to the Bucs, 46.
A little hot potato on this snap, huh? Still able to execute really the same play the other direction. And all he's looking for is that defensive end to crash down. And as soon as he does on the runner, he pulls. You know, with that big body, Kenny, and all the pads that he wears, he's going to be able to fall forward for that 1 yard.
Three receivers set from the 46 of the Bucs. Breaking free is Damiere Byrd inside the 20. Out of bounds at the 15-yard line. 31-yard catch and run.
This is all you want from Damiere Byrd. He just floats when he gets in space, and it's a tough job for Brent Grimes to make this tackle in space, but he's got to get him down because there's nobody else around. Great job running through the arm tackle and getting down inside the red area for Carolina.
Longest reception of the season for Byrd. He scored his first 2 career touchdowns last week against Green Bay. Newton. Juan Alexander brings him down at the 11-yard line, gain of 4 as they exchange pleasantries. We take you back to one of his 2 touchdowns last week, back in the end zone, Damiere Byrd.
Yeah, the butt cheek reception. Love this. Great concentration by Damiere Byrd there, fighting through the defender and coming down with this. And
Greg Olsen told his head coach, Ron Rivera, do not challenge. There's no way it will be ruled a touchdown.
Greg Olsen's never usually wrong. He was wrong there. Narrow cheeks, he got it in.
That's right. 2nd down and 6. Again, it's Newton. This time, Levante David, first Buck to make the tackle, and Newton shake it up.
You could call it that.
There's Derek Anderson. Panthers backup has put his helmet on.
He's in some serious pain here, and pretty sure, Kenny, he's got one of those injuries that only time on the sideline can cure here. But again, good job by this Bucs defense, understanding what's coming at them. This guy is a runner. Clint McDonald described them as having a 3-man backfield with a guy that can throw the football. Levante David put a little up close and personal with Cam Newton there.
So Newton heads off to the sidelines.
A little water, a little rest. We'll be right back.
Here comes Derek Anderson in his 7th season. He's been here for all 7 years, backing up Cam Newton. 47 career starts for Anderson. He was a Pro Bowler 10 years ago, back in 2007.
I remember when Cam missed his first 2 games as a Carolina Panther, came in and played these Buccaneers and beat them twice. He's capable. He's been really an asset for Cam Newton, too.
Byrd down at 5. Anderson throws. Out of bounds. Byrd. Incomplete.
Derek Anderson's been standing on the sideline, hasn't been warming up at all, but he comes out and throws a dart here to Damiere Byrd, but just the mechanics on the sideline, it's very close. Maybe, I think his left foot is out of bounds, and good call by the officials there on that play.
Even Greg Olsen knows they won't overturn that one.
No.
So here is Gano, a 28-yard attempt. He is now 2 for 2, hit from 25 earlier. So with Cam Newton sitting out of play, Panthers now lead 6-3. Cam Newton on the Panthers sideline. With Carolina leading 6-3. They clinch a playoff berth with a victory today.
Think anybody's sympathizing with Cam on the sideline right now? think everybody is. I'll leave it at that.
Derek Anderson came in for one play. Graham Gano with his second field goal. They'll kick it off. Quiz Rogers back deep for Tampa Bay. Bucs will start at their 25. Well, Rodney, two great bowl games coming up this week. Wednesday on Fox, Arizona and Purdue. Then Washington State and Michigan State square off in the Holiday Bowl. That's Thursday on FS1.
Mr. Purdue himself, K1 Short. Purdue grad, I'm sure he'll be tuned into that game on Fox. K1 Short probably is one of those guys that should have been in consideration for the Pro Bowl, in my opinion. The guy leads the inside charge of this defensive line. He's got 6 sacks on the season. He's very disruptive. He's very Gerald McCoy-like. He's not getting the love this year.
He was a Pro Bowler 2 seasons ago. This is Doug Martin. Not much.
And as promised, K1 Short right here. Watch how quick he gets through the line of scrimmage. He's the one that really disrupts this play, allowing his linebackers and the rest of this Carolina defense to rally to Doug Martin, get that tackle for no yardage.
Short with 6 sacks on the season. 5th year out of Purdue. 2nd down and 10. Winston has completed 7 of his first 8. But has turned it over twice. And this time he is wrapped up. Down he goes. Mario Addison along with star Latulele.
Keep mentioning how much they blitz. Look at 7 guys in the line of scrimmage and they just bounce out. It's really just a 4-man rush, and Star Latulele and Mario Addison, who shares the team lead in sacks with 10 with Julius Peppers, combined to get Jameis Winston on the ground and set up a 3rd and forever here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Half sack for each, so that's 10.5 for Addison this season. 3rd down and 16. Bucs must get to the 40 for a 1st down. Winston under pressure from Kuechly. He gets rid of it. Catch is made by the tight end, Cameron Brate. Bucs will punt it away.
And this is all you want from the Carolina defense. Just get the ball out of the quarterback's hands. You know you have great tacklers in the secondary. And again, they do that double A gap pressure. A lot of teams are getting into that mode. Mentioned the tacklers in the secondary. They're as good as any team in football. Their defensive backs getting guys on the ground. Get off the field.
Ryan Anger punting for the first time. Kalen Clay is back deep for Carolina. Good kick. Taken at the 27 by Clay. 3-yard return. 50-yard punt. 6-3 Panthers. Cam Newton back on the field for the Carolina Panthers. Who clinch a playoff berth with a win. He's completed all 5 of his pass attempts today. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. On the toss, it's Christian McCaffrey. And McCaffrey makes something out of nothing as he gains 6 on 1st down.
And this kid is something else, isn't he? It's not a blazer by any means. It's 40 times not going to tell you he's going to run by anybody, but what he is dynamic in space. I mean, he makes 3 or 4 guys miss here. Change of direction is elite. It picks up 5 yards here, 6 yards here. That play looked like it was going to be nothing. Of course, they use him all over the place. They'll line up different areas on the field, wide receiver, outside, inside, of course, out of the backfield. He's an awesome player to watch.
Hand off to Stewart. And Jonathan Stewart gains just 1 out to the 27. Christian McCaffrey has already tied the franchise record for receptions by a rookie with 73 this season. He has 7 combined touchdowns, rushing and receiving.
There's only one running back in football that's targeted more than Christian McCaffrey, and that's Le'Veon Bell up in Pittsburgh. So, rookie to come in and do what he's done has been very impressive.
3rd down and 3. Newton over the middle. He was looking for McCaffrey. Brent Grimes defending.
Well, on 3rd down, there isn't a more productive wide receiver. He's just going to run this route. Cam has him right away. He just doesn't see him immediately. He tries to go to him late, makes a bad delivery, and they're off the field. But Christian McCaffrey is tough to deal with now. I almost feel sorry for some of these linebackers that have to get out in space and cover him. Those two are clicking. They're almost impossible to stop.
Panthers go 3 and out. Velarde punting for the second time. Adam Humphries is back deep for the Bucs. Balls for the fair catch at the 16-yard line. As Newton and McCaffrey talk about it. 6-3 Carolina. Panthers lead the Buccaneers 6-3. There's Donovan Smith, number 76, left tackle for the Bucs. Amazingly, the only Buccaneer who has started all 15 games this season. Bucs start from the 16-yard line. Play action on first down as Winston slides. Marked out at the 19-yard line. So a gain of 3. So Smith, only Buck to start every game. Jaguars have had 13 players start every game. Rams and Titans 12. How about the Patriots? Only 5.
Yeah, this is the year of the injury. A lot of them across the league. Donovan Smith here in Tampa not only started every game this year, every game of his career. Doesn't miss practice. He's been one of Cam Newton's security blankets, and he told us he expects a lot of. I'm sorry.
Winston's pass is caught. Still going is Godwin inside the 40, the 30, the 20, and he's finally chased down by Luke Kuechly. So Chris Godwin, the rookie out of Penn State, gained 71, longest pass play of the season for the Bucs.
It's just a simple slant pattern. It is 3 deep, 4 underneath. Jameis Winston throws it right through the window, and I tell you, when you're a safety, a single hole safety as Adams was right there, you got one shot to find that angle to make the tackle, and he missed it. Chris Godwin getting a chance to start today, showcasing what he could be for this Tampa Bay offense, and Jameis Winston's told us this guy could be a superstar. The way he goes to work every single day, it's been impressive.
Longest completion of Winston's career. Winston on first down to the end zone, looking for Mike Evans with Bradbury defending.
He's got him completely locked down here. Bump and run coverage in the red zone. Love corners that aren't scared to do this. Perfectly square, hands on. There's hand fighting there, both guys. No foul needed to be called. Good defense by James Bradbury. Him, Darryl Worley, the other corner, have been on a tear recently in the secondary. Interceptions in successive games for both of them. They got tough matchups outside with number 13.
Second down and 10. Third trip into the red zone for Tampa Bay. They've come away with 1 field goal. The give to Barber. And Peyton Barber is bottled up after a gain of just 1.
It's Shaq Thompson here giving his best Thomas Davis impression. Watch him shoot this gap. Sees the puller. He chases that puller, goes right into the backfield and completely destroys that running play. And looks like Julius Peppers, Kenny, is hurt after that last snap. I did not see what happened to him.
This is his 159th consecutive game.
He's been a lot of places, but gets to come back home, presumably to finish his career. He gets in on the tackle. You see him right there in the middle of your screen, number 90. Everybody here knows who he is. And looks like he got helmet to helmet with Coleman there. Just have to keep an eye on him, see what Zaylen.
Third down coming up for Jameis Winston and the Bucs as we head to Los Angeles. Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. We head to New England. Pats down 10-3 in the second quarter when Tom Brady finds Rob Gronkowski. How about that catch right there for a 17-yard touchdown? New England trying to clinch a first-round bye. Game tied up at 10. Kenny?
All right, thanks very much, Carissa. So Julius Peppers will head to the Carolina sideline. 3.5 remaining second quarter. 3 field goals to this point. Panthers lead by 3. Third down and 9 for Tampa Bay.
Big third down here. Important for Jameis Winston to protect the football. Want to come away with points, obviously, but this is where they have struggled. Being able, I should say, to finish these long drives. Cam Brate is in the slot. He has been his favorite target over the past 2 years when they get down in the red zone.
Empty backfield for the Bucs. 3rd down and 9. They can pick up a first down without reaching the end zone. As Winston is in trouble and he is sacked. Back at the 23-yard line. Wes Horton again.
In the red zone, you expect quick passes. But watch K'Wan Short. Runs right through Evan Smith. Again, gets in on the sack with Wes Horton. It's their 2nd time they've combined to get Jameis Winston on the ground. Good job by this front of this Carolina defense, getting a stop when they needed it.
Horton had the big sack and forced fumble earlier. Makes another big play. Along with K'Wan Short, they share the sack.
There was nowhere for that ball to go either. You get empty backfield, you got to expect one of the one-on-ones to win down in the red zone. And not one of them was open. They doubled Cam Brate. Jameis Winston had to pull it down. Nowhere for him to go with the football. They're settling for a field goal opportunity here.
Panthers use the timeout. There's Julius Peppers going into the tent. 41-yard attempt. Patrick Murray hit from 31 earlier. And Murray's kick is just inside the left upright. So the Buccaneers have tied the game at 6. Late second quarter, back in 30 seconds. After this message from Duracell and Lowe's. NFC South battle on the day before Christmas. Bucs and Panthers now tied at 6.
I'll tell you what, Kenny, Luke Kuechly has a lot of platitudes about his career and what he is as a player, but how important was this? Chasing down this play, 70 yards down the field, stop them in the red zone, and the defense rises up and holds them to a field goal opportunity. Those are the plays that go unnoticed by a lot of people. When you're on that sideline, they go watch this film tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon, whenever they get a chance to see it. They're going to be praising their very talented middle linebacker.
Here's Bird on the return. Demir Bird still on his feet across midfield. Bird will take it all the way. 103 yards. A new Panthers record.
That was an awesome return, Kenny. Demir Bird is not big at all, but he forces so many missed tackles on this run. And he has energized this crowd, energized the sideline. 103 yards, you just need a couple of blocks. Missed tackle, missed tackle, missed tackle by the kicker, and then the rest is all him. Speed, quickness, determination, everything you want out of a returner. Touchdown, Carolina.
A franchise record, 103-yard kickoff return. Cam Newton liked it, and now the extra point attempt is blocked. Remember, this could be returned for 2 points, but Beckwith is tackled. So the Carolina lead is 12-6.
Return of events there. Wow. Kick return for a touchdown. Look at the penetration right through the middle. Will Golston, who blocked a kick last week against Atlanta as well. And Kendall Beckwith really just tripped up, or maybe he goes back and gets 2 points there. This Bucs team, Kenny, will continue to mention it. They will not quit. They have lost 4 straight close football games. Lost to Green Bay in a game they should have won. Lose on Monday night last week, or I guess this week. Had a chance to win that at the end, or at least tie it at the end. It's going to be a dogfight.
Demir Bird, who was on injured reserve earlier this season with a broken arm. What a 2 weeks it has been for Bird. 2 touchdowns last week, first 2 of his career against Green Bay. And now still catching his breath after returning the kickoff 103 yards. Bush Rogers had an opportunity for a 106-yard return, but he will not take it out. Well, it's the singing competition that starts with the 4 best singers. The 4 battle for stardom. The panel includes Sean Diddy Combs, DJ Khaled, Meghan Trainor, Charlie Walk, and it's hosted by Fergie. The vocal combat begins Thursday, January 4th, right here on Fox.
There it is, 103 yards. Wow, good game. You love it for young receivers too. They always want that instant gratification of being a wideout. Sometimes you got to do it other ways. You're right, Ken. He's coming into his own right now.
Bernstein again could not find anyone and throws it out of bounds. Under pressure from Mario Addison.
He's got the time. There's just really nowhere for him to deliver the football. Scanning all over the place, trying to find a place, and the smart thing that he does is throw this football away, not take the sack or make some risky throw that turns into a turnover. But you can see nowhere for this ball to go. Great coverage on the back end for this Carolina Panthers defense.
2nd and 10. 2:37 remaining. 2nd quarter. Winston under pressure again. Rolling to his left, directing traffic. And he will run it out of bounds at the 28, gains 3 on the play, setting up a 3rd down and 7.
One thing this Panthers defense does very well, scramble plays. Their secondary, their linebackers, they all understand zone drops. This is a zone dropping team. They don't play a lot of at the line of scrimmage man-to-man. When you get a quarterback that scrambles out of the pocket, you got to be able to plaster. And when I watch these guys on film, I don't see a team do it better. They take away your immediate options, your down the field options, and it's a reason why they are 3rd in the league in sacks.
Bucs will use a timeout as the play clock was winding all the way down. 2:03 remaining in the half. What's coming up at halftime, Kurt?
Coming up on a jolly edition of the Visa Halftime, the Patriots look for a gift today against the Bills. The Chargers hope for a Christmas miracle as they take on the Jets. And Santa, can you help the Chiefs wrap up the AFC West? At least one of us will have our dignity intact when we come back to the Visa Halftime.
We saw Santa Claus here before the game. How did he get to Los Angeles so quickly?
Hey, all I know is when Santa has a real beard, I think that he's the real Santa. So ours had one, theirs had one. And Christmas gift for the Carolina Panthers here. Julius Peppers out of the tent, back on the football field. Get a chance to rush at Jameis Winston here on 3rd and 8.
Winston's pass is caught for a 1st down out of the 44-yard line by Mike Evans for a gain of 15. Now we hit the 2-minute warning in Charlotte. Panthers win and they're in. Lead by 6. Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers lead the Tampa Bay Bucs 12-6. Following the 2-minute warning. 1st and 10, 44-yard line for Tampa Bay. As Winston is sacked, there is a flag.
Personal foul, grabbing the helmet opening. Defense, number 52. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Well, Jerome Boger said 52. I'm sure he meant 92. Bernard Butler grabbing the face mask there of Jameis Winston. So great rush move inside, but the personal foul gives the Bucs the 1st down on their side of the 50.
Julius Peppers back on the field as we head down to Christina.
Hey, Kenny, yeah, Peppers was in there helping to bring down Cam Newton on that play. When he went into the tent, they were actually checking him for a neck strain. He had some tightness after making the hit on that last drive, but obviously given the okay to return.
Thanks, Christina. First and 10 from the 41 on the toss. It's Charles Sims. And Sims will be brought down by Darryl Worley. Down to 1:47 on the clock.
I thought it was interesting talking to Luke Kuechly this week, and he said, you know, the one reason we're a good defense is because the guys on the edges of the defense have to be good tacklers. And he was talking specifically about Darryl Worley and James Bradbury tackling at corner. They ask a lot of these guys play at the line of scrimmage. They have to play off coverage. But most importantly, for this defense to succeed, they got to be physical on the outside, and they definitely are.
Both in their second season as Winston breaks away from Peppers. Now fires downfield. Jump ball. Humphreys comes down with it. What a catch by Adam Humphreys.
He is the last guy on the field, Kenny, I think wins a jump ball. I think, fortunately, he's going up against a smaller safety in Coleman. But this is Jameis Winston at his best. Just being able to avoid pressure there, stay in the pocket. Julius Peppers isn't able to get him down, and just throwing a prayer up to Adam Humphreys, and this kid doesn't drop the football. If it gets in his hands, he usually catches it.
What a catch, 36-yard completion. First and goal from the Carolina 5. It's Peyton Barber. Barber takes it down to the 3. Luke Kuechly leading the charge for the Panthers defensively. Fourth trip into the red zone for Tampa Bay. Talked about finishing from a Bucs perspective. So far, 2 field goals on their prior 3 trips inside the 20.
And a turnover as well earlier in the football game as well. I think it behooves them here, Kenny, to score a touchdown. Carolina gets the ball after the half. 3 receivers up top. Usually a nice combination route going on when you get that set.
On second and goal, it's Barber again, and he will lose yardage, and now the Bucs call timeout with 13 seconds remaining and a 3rd down upcoming.
Shaq Thompson again in on this play, playing for Thomas Davis again, suspended, playing that will position, usually the Sam. But just look how aggressive they are at that linebacker position, flowing to the football. Hey, they read it out, Luke Kuechly included. They read out run plays so well. They're both physical and fast and can tackle. There's nowhere for that run play to go. Shaq Thompson's a guy who could do anything, really, for this team. He's a big nickel at times. They leave him out there to cover up wide receivers at times in this defense. Taking on a much bigger role today and flying around.
Coming back from the foot injury. So now 13 seconds on the clock. 1 timeout remaining for Tampa Bay. 3rd and goal from the Carolina 6. Sims in the backfield. Winston looking end zone. He throws. There is a flag off the hand of Cameron Brate.
They're going to get 3 shots at it from the 1.
To the pass, holding, defense, number 29. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
Well, there's only 9 seconds. They're going to get 1 shot at least. And watch, he just get mugged at the line of scrimmage, trying to run a little double move. He grabs all the time. It's an easy flag there. And no surprise that Jameis Winston was going for Cam Brate in that situation. Second most touchdowns of any tight end over the past 2 seasons. Cam Brate does.
So with 1 timeout, 9 seconds. We'll take a shot here, and if they don't convert, should be able to send out the field goal unit, and now Carolina will use a timeout.
Timeout, Carolina. Their second.
You think back to earlier in this drive, the Bucs let the clock run down, did not use a timeout then.
I'd imagine they were trying to obviously score, but not leave any time on the clock for Carolina.
Carolina
score.
will get the ball first following halftime.
The offense has not been great so far today. This has been a special teams kind of day, really. The 4 field goals, the unbelievable Demir Byrd return, 103-yard return for a touchdown, and then, of course, Will Golston blocked that point after kick after that.
All the scoring has come from the special teams on both sides. There's Byrd.
Can he usually get in this situation? You're going to get an ISO. You're going to get 3 receivers at the top of this Bucs offense. One guy's going to be an ISO. That's Cam Brate down at the bottom of the screen. But he also could use the combinations up top. See where James Winston decides to go here.
First and goal from the 3. Winston throws, end zone, off the hands of Godwin. Down to 5 seconds.
When he had him, the route combination played out perfectly. This is Godwin. He's just going to curl up right inside the goal line, and he had Coleman beat. A little bit better throw. Maybe Godwin get his head around a second early, and that's a touchdown. But instead, they're going to have to settle for a field goal attempt here.
Again. 21-yard attempt.
Hard to win on the road, Kenny, when you make these types of drives and don't come away with touchdowns.
Murray's kick is good. His 3rd field goal of the first half. Still 2 seconds remaining. It's a 3-point Carolina lead.
The way special teams are going, Dirk Cutter might not want to walk too close to the locker room here. He's still got to get his coverage unit down and make a tackle on Demir Byrd, who just electrified this stadium with a 103-yard return a little while ago.
Carolina Panthers, Rondé, with only 78 yards on offense today, so more yardage from Byrd on that return than the Panthers have offensively in the entire first half.
Well, give Tampa credit, and they've held them to 1 of 5 on 3rd down. It's 20%. You guys can do the math. This offense just hasn't clicked. They have to be able to answer some of the things that their defense have been able to do. This defense has had their backs against the wall 4 times, Kenny, right? And been able to keep Tampa out of the end zone. Offense is going to have to match in the second half.
Winston, 11 of 15, 190 yards. A couple of big pass plays. One to Godwin, the other to Humphries. Murray keeps it on the ground. And that will take us to the end of the first half. Let's take a look at some fun from Week 15. Sounds from the Field, brought to you by Walmart.com, offering free 2-day shipping.
Hey, big time job now, huh? All right, fellas, let's go to work. Yeah! Big time drive. Let's go!
Carolina Panthers in with a win, lead by 3. To Los Angeles we go for the Visa halftime report. Underway in Charlotte as Winston is in trouble and he is sacked. Still on his feet across midfield. Byrd will take it all the way.
That was an awesome return, Kenny.
Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers in with a win, lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 12-9 as we get set for the 3rd quarter. Kenny Albert, Rondé Barber. Rondé, you played in this division, the NFC South, for over a decade, so you were certainly no stranger to these type of games.
Well, steel sharpens steel, right? A little bit. They beat each other up. That's how every division game is, and really got to give credit to the Tampa Bay team right now. You give up 2 turnovers in the red zone, a kickoff return for a touchdown, and yet you're only down 3 points. That's a credit to their defense. Now, Carolina, the offense has got to get on track. They've done some good things on defense, holding those drives to field goal opportunities. They got 37 yards on 13 rushes so far in this football game. 20 of them come by Cam Newton. They're going to have to get on track if they're going to get a win here at home and really solidify themselves going into the playoffs.
It's a 3-point game. The only touchdown came on special teams, the 103-yard kickoff return by Demir Byrd. And as you mentioned, Carolina only 78 yards of offense in that first half, but they had both takeaways and they scored 6 points off the 2 Tampa Bay turnovers.
The number 1 determination, winning and losing in football, is turnover margin. They are winning it right now, but Kenny, they only have 21 plays on offense. They're going to have to be better on that side of the ball.
All right, before we get started, down to the field, Christina Pink.
Hey, Kenny. Well, Tampa Bay's defense certainly came to play. Dirk Cutter told me the key was containing Cam Newton, but specifically tackling him and Christian McCaffrey. He said those two guys are so slippery and hard to bring down. He said that'll be the key here in the second half. And in terms of their offense finishing in the red zone, he said, I need to stop calling those outside runs. Now, talking to Ron Rivera, he said that we're hurting ourselves in the red zone every single time we get down there. He said simply, that's the truth of it. We have to be better in the red zone defensively. We need to stop giving up big plays on third down.
All right, thanks very much, Christina. Buccaneers will kick it off. Murray sends it deep. And Bird will take it out from 1 yard deep in the end zone. This time he is stopped shy of the 20. 20 yards on the return. How about Riley Bullock getting downfield on special teams as Bird is shaken up. Bullock playing in his second game with the Bucs.
Big hard knock star if you watched it. And this is a tough injury. Carolina Panthers. Damiere Byrd mentioned it numerous times already today, coming into his own, not only as a receiver, but clearly as a return guy. They can ill afford to lose him. They're already down at wide receiver. Kenny, you mentioned Russell Shepard, who came over as a free agent last year from Tampa, is out with a shoulder injury. And they signed a guy, Mose Frazier, from the practice squad, and he's up, but keep an eye on 56 here, Spencer Paysinger. Both of these guys get rolled up, and not sure, you can't really tell in that picture what's wrong with Bird, but oh God, yeah you can. Hyperextended his left leg.
And as we mentioned, he was on injured reserve earlier this season, playing in his 8th game. There's Paysinger, signed earlier this month by Carolina, and now Bird will get helped off the field.
A couple of nice gestures there by Gerald McCoy and some of the Bucs.
So Cam Newton and the Panthers will start from their 19-yard line. Newton attempted only 6 passes in the first half. Carolina, as you mentioned, ran only 21 plays. He also ran 8 times for 20 yards.
I think the biggest thing, Kenny, we mentioned it towards the end of the last half, 1 of 5 on third downs. It's not going to be good enough in a game like this with this Bucs team playing as hard as they are.
So the Panthers start from the 19 as we begin the third quarter. Newton to the outside, complete to Greg Olsen. Olsen up the sideline for a Carolina first down. Gain of 11. Olsen's second catch today.
Well, finally came back into the fold, really, the way we expect Greg Olsen last week with those 9 catches and the touchdown against Green Bay. His first 2 outings after that foot injury were really unproductive.
Right, he missed 9 games earlier this season as Stewart was bottled up after a short game.
And that's the real question. How does he get back into the flow here? What effect will he have on the passing offense? Because, let's be honest, Cam Newton has not been great throwing the football this entire season. It's been mostly on the strength of his running game and his legs. Getting to the playoffs, he's going to have to turn into a better passer. Having Greg Olsen in the fold would be much helpful for him.
Second down at 9. Newton hits Stewart, but Brent Grimes comes up to make the tackle. So loss of a yard on the play, setting up third down and 10 for Carolina.
Pace is slow, really, for this Carolina offense all day long. And I've seen them getting some hurry up, get at the line of scrimmage, call plays. Cam Newton seems to thrive in that situation. You get 2 short gains on first and second down, set you up with a third and long here.
Neutral zone, in fact. Defense, number 54. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Of course, he meant Kendall Beckwith, number 51. And Beckwith is obviously starts at linebacker. for this team, but because they've had so many injuries and inability to rush the passer, he's lining up a defensive end in some third down situation, as he is again right here.
Third down and 5 following the penalty. Newton's pass is caught for a first down by Brent Burson. That's his 4th reception of the season, also on IR earlier this year. It's a gain of 18.
Who was he throwing this football to, Kenny? Because when this ball released out of his hands, I swore that he was trying to go to Greg Olsen. But it's Burson coming in behind, high-low, throws a great pass down and away from the defensive back, Javian Elliott. First down, Carolina.
Burson on the field due to the injury suffered by Bird.
He's been up and down off this roster numerous times. He brought him back at least 3 times this season. Comes up with a big catch there on third down.
In Buccaneers territory, it's McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey picks up 2 at the 45-yard line. TJ Ward the stop.
Yeah, you talked to a lot of people about Christian McCaffrey, and it's been proven wrong. They thought he couldn't run between the tackles, right? But go back and look at his career at Stanford. He ran in there. Obviously, he can get to the edge. He can play out of the backfield as a receiver. They are not worried about handing him the ball out of the eye, out of the side saddle here, and running him in between those 3 big guys up front.
Now on 2nd and 8, Newton near side. He was looking for Kalen Clay. Brent Grimes defending.
Well, Brent Grimes is clearly the best defender on the back end of this defense, and he's got great trigger skills. Right? I don't know how much longer Brent Grimes plans on playing, but he could play for 4 or 5 more years with the level that he's been at this season. Leads his team in interceptions. He's a work hard guy, and at 5'8", he plays way bigger than his size says he should.
How about this, Ronnie? Over the last 5 seasons, he leads the entire league in passes defensed.
I could have guessed that.
Pro Bowl 4 times.
I could have guessed that.
Third down and 8. Newton fires downfield and is deflected and then picked off by Quan Alexander. It bounced away from Burson. And Alexander will be tackled across midfield, and a flag is thrown at the end of the return.
Well, the flag's going to be a post-interception play, but you got to give this one to Chris Conte. He's the one that hit Burson as he's trying to make this reception, and then it's Quan Alexander just hustling to the football to steal an interception for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was a good play.
There's no foul for a blindside block. First down, Tampa Bay.
Intended for Burson. Conte makes the play, and then Alexander with his 3rd interception of the season.
Alexander getting a little early Christmas present from the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton got some coal on that play. That was a well-delivered ball. Burson's got to catch that with his hands. Can't let that get to your pads, young man.
Here's Peyton Barber on first down. One thing this Bucs defense has done very well this season, Ron Day, is forced turnover.
Absolutely. Come in tied 5th in the league with 24 takeaways on the year. If there's one thing they've done well, really the last 2 years, is take the football away. That's their 13th interception of the season, and it puts up Jameis Winston in a very good field position right around the 50-yard line. See if they're able to capitalize on their first takeaway of the day.
2nd down and 7. Barber in the backfield. Winston on 2nd down, looking for Mike Evans. He makes the catch. Evans comes up with it. Defended by Bradbury. Evans shaken up once again. It's a 28-yard pass play.
He hurt this lower back a couple of weeks ago against Detroit, going up another 50-50 ball. Now, you're going to play corner in this league. You're playing with your back to the quarterback. You don't get a chance to see it thrown. When you got a guy like Mike Evans who just wins these things at will, it's tough to defend. Great throw, great catch, concentration by Mike Evans. Big play for this Bucs offense. Mike Evans is still down on the ground, and clear what happened to him when he hit the turf. Saw him bounce up, and he's in a little bit of pain right now.
Mike Evans has his helmet back on, Rondé.
Have a little treatment there on the sideline, and I think he'll only miss this one play. Down in the red zone, 5th time. Have not been very successful down here yet today, Kenny.
3 field goals and a turnover. 1st and 10 from the 18. Winston throws to the end zone. Touchdown! Winston connects with Bobo Wilson. His first NFL TD.
And he stayed with this for a long time. A lot of credit here goes to Jameis Winston. This pocket has started to close around him all day long, but he's able to buy some time, and Bobo Wilson, double move is ineffective, but just finding a way to make yourself available for your quarterback. Look at him buy time right here. Being able to climb the pocket, run into the pocket really, and deliver accurately. That is a nice throw. Finally convert a red zone opportunity into a touchdown, and they take the lead.
First NFL reception and touchdown for the rookie out of Florida State, Bobo Wilson. Murray the extra point. Bucs take the lead back in 30 seconds after this message from Farmers.
I got to tell you what, Kenny, this is a great picture we have here of Jameis Winston on the move. Obviously the ability to escape and buy some time, but
connecting with his former teammate at Florida State.
Yeah, but watch the RPMs on this ball. Look how tight that spiral is on the move, man. That is a great throw and catch. Yes, his teammate in Florida State, Bobo Wilson, got his name splattered around on Hard Knocks as well this season. He didn't make the original roster, but some of the injury comes back and comes up big. Tampa Bay here on the road, week 16.
Wilson signed from the practice squad in late November. Without Demir Bird, this is Fozzie Whitaker on the return. Out to the 20-yard line for Carolina. Only 11 pass attempts to this point for Cam Newton today. Panthers have run 28 plays. McCaffrey, 15 yards on the ground. McCaffrey does not have a reception today. And for more on Demir Bird, down to Christina.
Kenny, Bird is back in the locker room right now getting checked for a knee injury. They were looking at that left knee on the sideline and in the tent right now. He is questionable to return.
Thanks, Christina. Bird with the 103-yard kickoff return in the first half. Panthers only touchdown. Panthers start from the 20. There's McCaffrey. His first reception is 74th of the season. And that sets a new franchise rookie record. Gain of 12, a Carolina first down.
Well, they motioned McCaffrey out of the backfield, get him in a one-on-one situation. You see just the acumen he has as a route runner. Comes up and runs a double stutter in route. I mean, most receivers have trouble running that route, and he's got the ability to do it from the running back position. Good asset. Can't believe that's only his first catch of the day.
And now the handoff to McCaffrey. Up the middle, found a hole, spins across the 40. And is close to another first down. Looks like he has it.
Again, this offense is very simple in their run game. They don't do a lot of things. They ask their guards and centers at times to pull, create some confusion up front. You got a runner that's very direct, and that's what McCaffrey is. He's a one-cut guy, gets north and south very quickly, picks up a nice first down.
From the 42-yard line. Newton was under pressure. He was in the vicinity of Christian McCaffrey. 2nd and 10 upcoming.
Defensive coordinator Mike Smith dialing up a blitz here against Cam Newton. He forces him to throw the ball away. And I'm looking at this game right now, Kenny. I know there's still plenty of time left in the third quarter, but I think it's imperative that Carolina come down and answer on offense. They've been relying on their defense all day to hold them into the football game. They have really not gotten anything going. Now's the time.
There's McCaffrey on 2nd down. And he gets wrapped up by Levante David. Gain of 2.
Levante David's been out with the hamstring injury. Did not play last week. But he is the best tackling linebacker on this football team. And being disciplined. He's got great eye discipline. Look how he stays square to make that tackle. Doesn't go for the foot fake from Christian McCaffrey. That's a great picture right there. What it takes to be successful in this league is a tackling LB on a very shifty running back.
Third down and 8. Panthers just 2 for 7 on third down. Another blitz from the Bucs defense, and that is dropped. Greg Olsen unable to hang on with Kendall Beckwith defending, so Carolina will punt it away.
Well, he tried to go back shoulder here to Greg Olsen. Really, he had Kendall Beckwith beat. He's up there at the top of your screen. He had him beat. This goes over the top, but he tries to get on the same page with his tight end. Maybe the communication is not exactly on point since he's been out for those weeks, but again, another failure on third down for this Carolina offense.
Velarde waiting at his 30, and it's a fake. Velarde throws, and Dixon was the intended receiver. There is a flag.
Number 59, early contact. Spot the foul, automatic. First down.
Well, this fake is going, well, they called it on Devontae Bond, but they meant Josh Robinson, number 26. Wow, gutsy call. Riverboat Ron, haven't called him that in a long time.
That's right.
Shows back up. And when you're not getting anything done on offense, right, I think it's, why not? Now, this is a team that's fighting for their playoff life. Obviously, they still got 2 games to do it, the rest of this one, but I like that call.
From the Tampa Bay 46, Jonathan Stewart. Vontae David again makes the tackle, and Stewart gains 3 following the penalty on the fake punt. So the Panthers maintain possession, trailing the Bucs by 4. Carolina can clinch a playoff spot with a victory today. Look at both Atlanta and New Orleans. Saints leading the Falcons late third quarter, 13-3. Second down and 7. Split backs. Newton hands it off to McCaffrey. And McCaffrey is brought down at the 37-yard line by T.J. Ward, a yard shy of the marker.
Let's go back to this fake punt real quick. And Josh Robinson, right here, he's the guy that's going to end up in coverage. Now, this could have been an interception. He just panics when Ed Dixon gets in front of him. A little bit more composure there, and it's a turnover on downs for Tampa Bay, but as it stands, keeps the drive alive for Carolina.
Robinson, the Bucs special teams captain. 8th play of the drive. Third down and 1. It's Newton. First down and more. Shoved out of bounds by Conti. At the Tampa Bay 19 is Cam Newton on 3rd and 1. Gains 18 yards.
And there is 22 people within about 10 yards of each other. Why not fake the dive and have your big quarterback get 1 plus a lot extra? The game's on the line, Kenny. I don't know that there's a better player than Cam Newton with the ball in his hands.
How about Jonathan Stewart celebrating?
Of course he's excited. He may have thought he was going for a touchdown. Chris Conti runs him down and saves it for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
On the 20, on first down, pass is caught by Fozzie Whitaker. He gains 4 on the play. Robert McLean made the tackle. And with that last run, Rondé, Cam Newton is now in 3rd place all time among quarterbacks. Career rushing yards as he bumps Steve Young down to number 4.
If he keeps playing and staying healthy, it's only a matter of time before he gets Michael Vick. I know that's a looks like a lot of yards there, 2,000 yards, but popping off 700 a clip. It's going to take a couple years before he's the most prolific ever.
Second down and 6. Newton over the middle. Burson. And he's down at the 12-yard line. Brent Burson with his second reception. Panthers still without their Bird. No Russell Shepard today.
I think it's going to come down. This game really is without those receiving options. It's going to come down to Cam and this running offense. I like when he has the ball in his hands, and he's just dangerous. He's dynamic. Looks like he can make anybody miss. He can run over or around you. Eye on this guy.
Panthers leading rusher today with 37 yards. It's now third down and 2. Panthers must get to the 10 for a first down. As Newton throws, he was looking for Olsen in the end zone, and now Carolina will send out the field goal unit.
He's trying to force the ball here to Greg Olsen. They're just playing zone coverage. He's going to pass him off to T.J. Ward. And very end of this play, you're going to see Gerald McCoy, 93, right in the middle with the rush on Khalil, running through a double team. Force a bad throw there by Cam Newton. So really, credit again, Tampa Bay's defense. Give up the fake punt, gets down in the red zone, and they're able to stop him again.
Graham Gano, 2 for 2 today, 30-yard attempt is good. It's now a 1-point game in Charlotte. Panthers held to a field goal once again.
Frustration everywhere on the sideline for Carolina. And meanwhile, Saints are winning. Kenny could attest to this. You know these scenarios much better than I do.
Well, the Saints could clinch the division with a win and a Carolina loss today. Carolina trailing by 1. Quiz Rogers back deep. Bucs will start at the 25. For an update on the Saints and the Falcons, Carissa.
Yeah, Rondé, you just pointed out that the Saints are up. This is how it happened. 13-3 in the third. Mark Ingram finds the hole and goes 26 yards to add to their score. They're up 20-3. Kenny Rondé.
Rondé, we were here week 3.
Yes.
Saints were 0-2. Panthers were 2-0. New Orleans won that game 34-13, and they have an opportunity to clinch the division. From the 25-yard line on first down, it's Peyton Barber for a gain of 1. Kyle Love made the tackle. Under 5 minutes remaining in the third.
And the interesting about that point, Kenny, they came here and won. Then New Orleans, went on the road to London, right, and won. And they didn't go home in between, and they came back on fire. They have just dominated the NFC throughout the course of this season, and yeah, just a couple of wins away, and they're going to be division champions, and nobody would have gave them that possibility after starting 0-2.
Saints will clinch a playoff spot with a win, but they would clinch the division with a win and a Carolina loss. Second down and 8. As Winston fires downfield, too far for Chris Godwin.
Oh, a lot of pressure coming at Jameis Winston. This is a great blitz pickup. Look at Peyton Barber come across this formation and pick up Shaq Thompson. Give him just enough time to put this down the field, but a little bit long. Good coverage by Worley and Adams on the back end. Third long for Tampa Bay.
Mike Evans split wide to the right. Bucs must get to the 35 for a first down. Winston throws near side. It's caught by Freddie Martino. First down and more across midfield and still going. Kurt Coleman finally brings him down at the 34-yard line of the Panthers. Third reception of the season for Martino, and he gains 39 yards.
Good route by Freddie Martino here. Gets Worley turning at the top of his route, but then the broken tackle, missed tackle, I guess you could say, from Carolina. And this is now the 4th big pass play from this Bucs offense against this Carolina defense, including the one long run by Peyton Barber early, and they are hitting on all cylinders. 315 total yards for this Bucs offense today. It's very impressive.
Fourth reception of 28 plus. And now it's Barber. You mentioned he went for 34 on a run earlier. And then you had the 4 long pass plays. 70 yards to Godwin, 36 to Humphries, 39 to Martino, 28 to Mike Evans.
You're looking for a difference in the game. It's right there. Only one explosive play for the Carolina offense, and that was the run we just saw from Cam Newton. Jameis Winston picking up right where he dropped off on Monday night against Atlanta. Put it on display here in Carolina as well.
Second down and 6 off the fake to Barber. Barber makes the catch. And a nice tackle made by Worley at the 27-yard line.
Just showed the poor tackle by Darryl Worley. Little swap action, get the back out to the flat. Corner's got to come tackle. Well done. That's exactly what it looks like. Continue to praise these guys outside. They've given up some plays, but these guys are very physical.
Huge play here, 3rd down and 3.
Again, you got the same matchup. You got the 3 down here, and you got the ISO up top. See which one Cam Newton decides to, Jameis Winston decides to choose here.
Play clock winding down. They get the snap off. Blitz comes. Winston throws, and it is caught by Sims. Charles Sims makes the catch inside the Panthers' 10-yard line. 19 yards from Winston to Sims.
And Jameis Winston is running for his life here. Shaq Thompson unblocked, but what they have outside is scat protection. Charles Sims is not staying in the block. He is getting outside as a receiver, and he picks up his man in man-to-man coverage. Huge first down, huge completion for Jameis Winston. And when we talked to Dirk Cutter yesterday, he said last week against Atlanta, Jameis made all the right reads and most importantly made all the right types of throws. That was the right type of throw for that situation. Big play.
First and goal, 8-yard line. Off the play fake. Winston in trouble. Julius Peppers brings him down. Back at the 21-yard line. His 11th sack this season.
No getting away from the 37-year-old Julius Peppers here. Comes through unblocked. Caleb Beninock is trying to set up a screen. Jameis Winston has nothing he can do here. Doesn't have time to really set and throw it away. Has to take the sack. And this is the theme of the day. Carolina's defense has given up a bunch of chunk yarders, but when they get into the red zone, they have risen up again and again. Big play there.
4th sack of the game for Carolina. Loss of 13. Second and goal. Back at the 21. Winston rolling right. Under pressure. Fires downfield out of bounds. And a flag is thrown.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So the play clock ran all the way down on the Bucs.
Just in case you needed confirmation, 3 seconds late. All it did really was serve to save a down for Tampa Bay. They're already 2nd and long, so the thinking here is you only want to get about half of it back. Watch Adam Humphries in the slot. Likes to go to him in these situations.
Winston fires through the end zone. He was looking for Godwin. Godwin comes up limping.
Yeah, he didn't get off the ball well at all. He saw him getting down the field limping. Just watching him. Pushes off. He does not look 100% from the get-go there. Clearly something bothering him.
Now 3rd and goal. How huge was that sack by Peppers?
Absolutely. Time and time again. Got these vet players on this Carolina defense. Peppers, Kuechly. No Thomas Davis, but Shaq Thompson's having a great day today as well.
For Godwin through the sideline. Winston on third down. He throws. Catch is made at the 8 by Martino, but it will not be enough, and the Bucs will send out the field goal unit.
And this is a game of field goals, largely because of the defense. And watch Julius Peppers going to come into your screen from the left, just flushing him out, and Jameis Winston's able to get a completion. Panthers are able to get a stop on third down.
Third quarter comes to an end. Field goal attempt when we return. Here's Patrick Murray as we begin the fourth quarter, out to attempt a 26-yard field goal. And Murray extends the Buccaneers' lead. It is now 19-15 Tampa Bay. Carolina, with a win, would clinch a playoff spot, but they are not guaranteed of making it to the postseason.
Yeah, it's crazy that they can possibly be a 2 seed or out. But win these final 2 games, you take care of your own business, and then hope that New Orleans loses and Minnesota loses week 17 in Chicago. Minnesota's been a tough out all season long with Case Keenum at quarterback.
So if all those scenarios come to fruition, Panthers would be the 2 seed, but they have not yet clinched the spot in the postseason. Trail by 4 early in the fourth quarter to the Tampa Bay Bucs.
You knew it was going to be a tough game coming in here. This Tampa Bay Bucs team, 3 weeks in a row, loses 20-26 to Green Bay, 21-24 to Detroit, and of course 21-24 last week at Atlanta. They have not given up the fight, and if they got to play the role of spoiler, that's exactly what they're willing to do.
Short kickoff taken at the 10-yard line. Brian Cox Jr. on the return to Carissa in Los Angeles.
Thanks, Kenny. We head back to Tennessee. Titans down 20-13 in the third when DeMarco Murray goes for 6 into the end zone. Rams trying to clinch their division with a win. Titans need a win just to stay alive. Game tied up at 20. Kenny.
All right, thanks very much, Carissa. It's week 16. A lot to digest, Friday.
Yeah, some good games. You look at the board out there. That game is a good one. Atlanta, of course, losing to New Orleans. Oh, Buffalo giving New England a game right now. Possible to determine the AFC. I'm not going to even go into that playoff scenario.
Patriots have clinched the division. This is Newton after the fake to Stewart. Cam Newton out to the 31. He gains 8. Newton now with 44 yards on the ground.
Well, they have 145 yards of offense from Cam Newton. The rest of the team has 30. Wow. I mean, that's as telling as you can possibly be. There, no receiver other than Bird, who is now out, done anything really explosive.
2nd and 3, it's Stewart. And Jonathan Stewart picks up the first down. He is wrapped up by TJ Ward, so the Panthers move the chains.
Big lumbering runner, Jonathan Stewart is. A little niftiness here, though. Sticking his left foot in the ground, cutting back against the grain, picking up this first down. Well done. And you know, at end of games, I played against Jonathan Stewart. Wanted nothing to do with him.
Took off his backfield, Robbie. Movement prior to the snap.
Encroachment, defense, number 98. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Clinton McDonald.
He didn't get much encroaching. Andrew Norwell rejected him out of there.
We met with Clinton McDonald yesterday. Terrific guy. He's the Bucs nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
And he is a wonderful human being. Great football player, too. Plays a lot of roles on the defensive line for this team.
Does so much in the community. First down and 5. McCaffrey out to the 44-yard line. Gain of 4 for Christian McCaffrey, with the Panthers trailing by 4. The Buccaneers have scored on their last 4 possessions. 3 field goals and a touchdown, as Patrick Murray has set a new career high with 4 field goals today. Time of possession pretty much even, but check out the total yards.
That's hard to believe. That's hard to calculate. I'm not sure how that happens. Only 5 more plays and almost 150 more total yards.
Oh, you mentioned all the big plays.
Absolutely.
From Tampa Bay. Second down and 1, and Stewart, first down. Out to midfield.
But haven't been very effective throwing the football, especially to Greg Olsen. Watch the block here. Gets in on the linebacker Levante David. Clears just enough space for Jonathan Stewart to get in there for that first down. And nothing's working. You know that this team can run the football. And it seems like they have resigned themselves that we're just going to pound and pound and pound and let the clock be our friend here. Just get a feeling that they trust their running game more than they do their passing game at the moment.
Off the fake to Stewart. Newton will cross the line of scrimmage and then dives forward. Panthers have now rushed for at least 100 yards, Rondé, for 9 consecutive games.
Well, there's no surprise there when you have the 3 runners, but the main component of that today has been Cam Newton. Just whether it's design runs or getting out of the pocket, it's always going to be a threat to scramble. Really just trips up on himself there. Look, he's trying to make a move on the corner. Went down.
Cam Newton has now rushed for 50 yards or more in 8 of the last 10 games. Exactly 50 today on 11 carries. Now he finds McCaffrey, puts a move on David. And Christian McCaffrey has a Panthers first down to the Bucs 38.
Is he a tough tackler or what? How about that? All you got to do is get him the ball in space and let him work his magic. The shiftiness and the change of direction, lateral agility is very special. Unique athlete. It's crazy to think we were here week 3 or whatever it was. There were people saying that he was not the guy they expected him to be. Well, I don't know what much more you want from him. This guy's been everything and more for this Carolina offense this season.
Timeout taken by Tampa Bay with just under 11 minutes remaining. Panthers on the move, trailing by 4. Ready for tomorrow, Rondé?
Yes. I'll say it very slowly, but yes.
He's ready. First and 10 from the Bucs 38. McCaffrey. Knocked out of bounds by Ward. Gain of 3 down to the Tampa Bay 35.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays to all of y'all out listening to our broadcast. Friends and family back home. I will get home tonight.
Yes, you will. Question is, will the Carolina Panthers have clinched the playoff berth? Tampa Bay Bucs look to play the role of spoiler. Buccaneers with a 4-point lead here in the 4th quarter. Second down and 8. This is Whitaker. Ozzie Whitaker to the Tampa Bay 31, his first carry today.
They've clearly decided to take the air out of the football, right, Kenny? Just turn around, hand this thing off. Really make it a force of will. You're trying to get a win at home, get into the playoffs. They're doing what they do best, run the football.
9th play of the drive for Carolina. 3rd down and 3. Only 1 pass play on this drive, 7 runs. Newton in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 39-yard line. Ryan Russell with the sack of Cam Newton.
Maybe that's why they haven't been throwing the football. Ryan Russell working on the edge against Matt Khalil, and Ryan Russell hasn't been very productive this year, but he goes right by the left tackle, and really Cam nowhere to throw the football there at all. I mean, again, he's holding the football, looking for something down the field, just has to succumb to the pressure.
And it takes the Panthers out of field goal range. A huge play by Russell. So here's Polardi. Remember the fake earlier, which drew a penalty and kept the Carolina drive alive. He punts it away, and it will be down at the 6. Russell with his first sack of the season. A huge play for Tampa Bay. Cam Newton and the Panthers trailing by 4. Win and in scenario for Carolina. But if they lose today, it would come down to next week. Jameis Winston and the Bucs start from their 7. Chris Godwin back on the field for Tampa Bay. Taken up earlier. Out to the 9-yard line. 2 yards on first down for Doug Martin.
Well, Jameis Winston has been healthy for the first time in a long time. And I got to ask the question, Jameis, are you hot or is this your game? And right now, this looks like his game. 130 passer rating both days, and most importantly, look at that number right there. No turnovers as far as interception goes. Of course, they had the 2 fumbles early in the game, but he is playing well, carrying over his play early in this week to this game here at Carolina.
Short week. Bucs playing on Monday night. Second down and 8 as Winston sets. He throws. It's great. Bounces off the first tackle attempt and then is down at the 10. And by the way, Jameis Winston has set a new franchise record. This is his 5th game this season with at least 300 yards in the air. He had been tied with Brad Johnson, your old teammate, Vinny Testaverde, and Doug Williams. First Buc in history to do it 5 times in one season.
Well, there's been a lot of heat on Jameis Winston today as far as pressuring the pocket, but I think he has handled it expertly, getting up into the pocket, buying time, and delivering downfield. Right now, 3rd and 7. He's got a big 3rd down, backed up situation. See if he can get out of the shadow of their end zone and convert.
Let's get to the 17-yard line for a first down. Penalty marker. And the play is blown dead.
Before the snap, delay of game, offense. Half the distance to the goal, still 3rd down.
Well, right before that last snap, Kenny, you saw Jameis Winston come out of the huddle and really look at the communicator, which is Dirk Cutter, serves as the offensive coordinator here, and you could tell they were having some trouble communicating the snap. On this snap, he went all the way to the sideline to get the play from Dirk Cutter. 3rd and 12.
On walkie-talkie, communication issues for the Bucs. That's their 2nd delay of game. 3rd down and 12. Let's get to the 17 for a first down. Winston from the end zone. Now out of the end zone. The penalty marker is thrown. If it's a hold, it would be a safety.
And I think it is going to be a hold.
Now another flag comes out.
It's going to be a hold on Julius Peppers.
Right, if it were a hold against the offense, it would be a safety.
It's going to be on Caleb Benenoch on Julius Peppers. The flag goes in right behind the quarterback. Very clear what that first penalty is. This second one is going to be a post-play infraction.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 by each team. Holding, offense, number 78. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 98. These fouls all set. Replay 3rd down.
You take a look at the hole. He meant 77. It's Caleb Benenoch right there working against Julius Peppers. He gets the chip, but flag comes in right behind him. I thought that was a clear hold. And then the personal foul. 98 right in the middle of your screen. Start Lutulele right trailing this play as Jameis Winston escapes. Gets a little frustrated with Evan Smith and Joe Holey. I'm sorry. There's the offsetting penalty.
Well, the penalty's offset. 3rd down and 12. Winston fires downfield. It's Mike Evans who makes the catch at the 35-yard line. Another big play by the Bucs offense. 30 yards from Winston to Evans.
They are playing a deep cover 2, and I hate to point out Luke Kuechly being wrong, but this is Tampa, and he's got to be in the middle of the field, and that's exactly where that ball goes. Nobody touched Mike Evans down, I don't think, unless Coleman did, but he gave himself up. And you see the exasperation on the face of Luke Kuechly there. Big play, nice throw by Jameis Winston, big first down.
More penalty markers.
How about that throw, Kenny? That was an amazing
Before
ball.
the snap, false start. Offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Anthony Auclair.
Just one more look at this. We're talking about how hot this guy is coming into this game. The calm and the poise that he has shown over the past 2 weeks has been amazing to me. Finding different receivers, running through zones, finding time to get to Mike Evans on that play in a backed up situation, crucial point of the game. That is some serious development for a young quarterback.
5 completions of 28 yards or more for Winston today. And that one was huge on 3rd down and 12. Now Winston complete to Godwin. Chris Godwin forced out of bounds at the 43-yard line by Colin Jones, gain of 13.
What can you say? This offense has really hit its stride over the last 2 weeks. Jameis Winston has really, to me, shown to be the guy that everybody expected him to be when this season started. Clearly disappointing season for Tampa Bay. Only 4 wins, but in defense of Dirk Cutter, he's had a ton of injuries. Jameis Winston was out and playing poorly. They continued to start him, but I think we're seeing a little bit of what this offense can be with a healthy Jameis Winston and some good weapons on offense.
Nice second effort by Doug Martin as he dives forward, and that came up a couple of times during our meetings with both Cutter and Winston, the fact that Jameis is healthy. He was playing through the injury, and then he missed 3 games. Ryan Fitzpatrick started in his absence, but this is the healthiest he's been all season.
Well, there's a lot of noise outside the building, obviously, and I asked the question to Dirk Cutter, how tough is it to block it out? And he said it's the toughest thing ever. This team is not where they want to be, but Dirk Cutter and his team said we have no choice. Go out and play a football game today, play the role that we're given.
And this play is blown dead. False start.
False start. Offense, number 82.
Big play offense for the Tampa Bay Bucs today.
Bunch of big plays today, Kenny. Chris Godwin early in the game, 70-yard catch, and then Jameis Winston buying time and throwing up a jump ball to Adam Humphries, who goes up 36 yards. And then we saw this one, Mike Evans 28 yards down the sideline. Jameis Winston has been on point all day long. Freddie Martino making the run after the catch. And then, of course, Mike Evans, we just saw on that long 3rd down completion as well. He has been as good as you could possibly expect at the quarterback position today.
From the 41, 1st down and 15, as Evans was knocked down and more flags come in.
Pass interference. Defense, number 24. Spot the foul, automatic 1st down.
Well, you saw Bradbury grab his leg. If you watch Monday night's game, that's exactly what he got called for. Mike Evans did pass interference on the Falcons, pulling himself through. And, you know, you play bump and run against a guy like Mike Evans, he's going to play physical at the line of scrimmage. He wants you to put his hands on him so he could just pull you through and be open down the sideline. They have a great understanding, the quarterback and receiver. So they're in man-to-man outside, and he gets by him, ball's coming to him.
On 1st down, it's Martin. By the way, Rodney, those 5 big plays we just showed, 5 big pass plays by the Bucs for a combined 203 yards. Wow. More yards on those 5 plays than the Carolina Panthers have gained on offense in this entire game.
Well, looking at the numbers, Kenny, you're scratching your head at the score line. But what this Carolina defense has done all day long, bend, don't break. They've gotten down into the red zone 6 times and only gotten 1 touchdown. So there is credit to be given to Luke Kuechly in this unit. When their backs have been up against the wall, they've been able to stop. And if you're Tampa Bay right now, you're saying, I'm on the road. I got 4 minutes left in this football game. You got a good chance to go down here and score and sneak away with a win.
And they've controlled the clock on this drive as that sails away from Evans. They've had the ball for over 4.5 minutes, and another flag is thrown.
Well, they don't like this one. And this one came in way late, Kenny.
Defense, number 24. Spot the foul, automatic
We'll take a look at it. Good position on top. And, okay. Whatever.
What do you think?
No way. That's not pass interference. No way. And unless he was grabbed onto his jersey enough to restrict the movement inside, that is not pass interference.
12-yard penalty. 1st and 10 from the Panthers 36. Martin spins right into the arms of Luke Kuechly.
You're Carolina right now. Somebody's got to step up. It's going to be Luke Kuechly here, directing the defense. He's a quarterback facing another quarterback on the other side. They're just shooting the gap and saying, no way, Doug Martin, you're not going anywhere. They need to stop right now. 2nd and long. This drive is now over 5 minutes. The Bucs are just milking this game out. Somebody on this Carolina defense got to step up and make a play.
They've run only 7 plays, but have run 5.5 minutes off the clock. Winston, a fake, looks to take off. And he will be tackled at the 40-yard line.
Well, remember, Kenny, this drive extended. They were going to get a safety in the end zone on the hold against Julius Peppers, but had the offsetting penalty. It gave them another shot at 3rd down. They were able to convert, and then a bunch of penalties. Carolina takes a timeout here. We'll be back. Really smart play by here, Jameis Winston. Julius Peppers is right in that throwing lane. That's a heads-up play by Peppers, and really a heady play by Jameis Winston. I think the old Jameis may have tried to fit that in there, but the more improved, turnover-conscious guy tucks it and runs.
So it's now 3rd down and 15 as the Bucs try to at least get into field goal range. This is Cameron Brate. And Brate will be down at the 33, which will be a 50 or 51-yard attempt.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Kenny. They didn't need to get the 1st down there. They just needed a couple of yards, more comfortable kicking distance for Patrick Murray, who going the other way, I talked to their special teams coach, said he probably has a 58-yarder in him. Going this way, a little wind against him. This is a little bit more comfortable make for him.
Murray has already hit 4 today. The Dirt Cutters Buccaneers leading the Panthers by 4. And Jameis Winston again, 6 days after his outstanding effort against Atlanta. Terrific again today.
This drive is indicative of it. The throws that he's made on 3rd down, the decision-making that he's showcased. And really, this is a great Carolina defense. They're aggressive, they tackle well, they run, but he's been able to take advantage of them, hit the big plays down the football field. He's given his kicker here a chance to give them a 7-point lead with 3 minutes left on the clock.
51-yard attempt, and Murray's kick is no good. Wide to the right. He had gone 4 for 4, but no good from 51. Panthers get the ball back. 3 minutes remaining, down by 4. Carolina defense keeps Tampa Bay out of the end zone, missed field goal. So now Cam Newton with 14 career game-winning drives. Panthers trailing by 4. They start from the 41. Wide open, making the catch in Buccaneers territory is Burson. 23-yard pass play.
This is just Burson running across a zone defense. You see Robert McClain coming to your screen late there. He was at the line of scrimmage trying to mess with Greg Olsen, who ran across and just didn't get back in his zone. Big play for Carolina.
From the 36, Newton fires. It's Kalen Clay at the Bucs 23.
How about that laser? Been looking for some urgency for this offense all day long. Haven't been able to do it in the pass game, but bam, look at this throw. Kalen Clay in the game because Damiere Byrd is out. Makes a big catch on a nice throw from Cam Newton.
2:10 remaining. Newton in trouble, stays on his feet, and then throws it out of bounds.
How did he get away from that?
Newton heads to the sidelines as we hit the 2-minute warning as he escaped from Kendall Beckwith. Tumultuous week here in Charlotte. Ron Rivera, Cam Newton, Panthers with an opportunity to clinch a playoff berth with a victory today.
Going to come down to 2-minute offense into the red zone. See what Cam Newton this offense can bring to the table here.
Newton throws, and that was intended for Clay. No flags. McLean defending.
Again, you get another example of Cam Newton's arm strength here, and this is a route they're playing quarters coverage, so the corner's usually going to get one-on-one if that second guy goes away, which is Greg Olsen, and then the bullet again, just right through the arms of Kalen Clay. We saw earlier where Burson dropped the pass that came to his shoulder pads. If he gets that in his hands, that's going to be a great catch.
Remember, without two wide receivers, Shepard and Demir Bird. 3rd and 10. Newton near side, it's Clay. And Kalen Clay will pick up a Panthers first down. Gain of 11.
Bucs go with the 4-man rush, and Cam Newton has all the time in the world. Kalen Clay comes all the way across the formation, is wide open, and finds him, picks up the first down.
3 wide receivers set, including Mose Frazier, top of your screen, number 14. It's his NFL debut. As Newton looks to run. He's down at the 10-yard line.
The clock's going to keep ticking. Carolina's only got 1 timeout here, and you do this. You almost don't want them to score too quickly, right? If you're Carolina, and put Jameis Winston's offense back on the field, it's been so explosive. So they're going to take their time here and make sure they get the right play, but they do need to score a touchdown here.
2nd down and 8. Newton sets. And now he throws it through the back of the end zone. In the vicinity of Greg Olsen, Robert McLean on the coverage.
Greg Olsen's been roughed up all day today by this Bucs defense. And again, passing off the coverage, Robert McLean, good coverage, and Cam Newton's just throwing that ball away. Save the time.
Trailing by 4, they need a touchdown. Down to 52 seconds. 8th play of the drive. 3rd down and 8. Newton throws. It's caught. But down at the 5-yard line is Olsen.
Oh, 1 play.
Panthers use their final timeout. 44 seconds remaining. 2 great bowl games coming your way this week, starting Wednesday on Fox, Arizona and Purdue, Foster Farms Bowl, then Washington State and Michigan State in the Holiday Bowl Thursday on FS1.
I got to tell you, they call a quick timeout there, Kenny. You're going to call the timeout anyways. Why not just let it run down? I know you got 44 seconds on the clock. It's plenty of time to score, but they have to get the ball in the end zone here.
254 yards, same as week 8 against Tampa in the Panthers' 17-3 win, but it comes down to this. 4th down and 3. They can pick up a first down without reaching the end zone. No timeouts remaining for Carolina. Movement prior to the snap. Wow.
Chris Baker, wow, is right.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense on the 9. Half the distance to the goal. Still 4th down.
Chris Baker right there. Still 4th down, just much shorter 4th down. Put in their jumbo package, bring in the big bodies here. This is a situation, Kenny, you're almost guaranteed to see number 1 with the ball in his hands right here.
They move it half the distance. Ball spotted at the 2.5-yard line. They need about a half yard for the first down. Extra blockers in. As Newton hands it off. And with the push, Those extra blockers. The officials will come in and spot the football.
Well, he spotted, but give them a extra timeout. I don't know that he necessarily got this on the initial contact, but the push there, the extra push, the entire, it's tough to tell, man. Where they spot this thing originally is probably going to be where it's going to be finally spotted.
You see Chris Baker grab hold of Jonathan Stewart. His knees were not yet down. Here come the chains, but no index card.
That will no longer be used. This is going to be close, Kenny. Oh, they might need an index card. Oh, first down.
So the Panthers on 4th down pick up the first. They have no timeouts. 36 seconds remaining.
Well, it turned into a game here in the last 3 minutes. Cam Newton, this offense finally got going throwing the football down inside the 5 with a chance to win and guarantee your spot in the playoffs. And look, you got the 3 wide receivers on the field now. You can take shots into the end zone with downs to play with.
Timeout is taken by the Bucs. What a game.
Absolutely.
New Orleans leading Atlanta by 10. 23-13 with 1 minute remaining. So New Orleans clinches a playoff berth with a win. They clinch the division with a win and a Carolina loss.
Yeah.
Panthers with 36 seconds remaining have the ball on the 2, down by 4.
Are you shocked by this one, Kenny? Yeah, I'm shocked by this. This has been a team. This is a team in Carolina that knows they have to come in and win a football game. It's been a tough test. Of course, Jameis Winston has been magnificent today throwing the football. The defense for Carolina has stepped up in the red zone. 6 times they got stops against this Bucs offense, and now they got a chance. Cam Newton driving the length of the field here. 3 plays, 36 seconds. See if they can get in the end zone.
With no timeouts, McCaffrey lined up to the right of Cam Newton. First to go from the 2. Newton lost the football and then takes it in for a Panthers touchdown.
Wow, can't believe that happened. Birthday candle for his son. Today is Cam Newton's son's birthday. And this is just a very fortunate bounce for Cam Newton. This was almost disastrous for Carolina. His body's just so big. He plows right through his offensive lineman. The Bucs are caught unawares there when the ball goes on the ground, and the push up front by Ryan Khalil, Silatolu, those guys up front, Norwell as well. See what I did there? That's a touchdown for Cam Newton, the Panthers offense.
A bounce pass to himself, a touchdown, and a birthday present.
Well, that's not his son.
No, that's not his son, but he lit the candle.
He lit the candle.
Here's Gano for the extra point. It's good. Panthers take a 3-point lead with 35 seconds remaining.
Is 35 seconds enough? The Bucs have 1 timeout remaining. They only have to get into field goal range to tie the football game. We've already seen Patrick Murray miss earlier today after making 4 field goals. And wow, what a game.
The first touchdown scored by the Carolina offense today, and it's a huge one.
It definitely was not their best day today on offense. Only 250 yards of offense, really, and a lot of that was Cam Newton. I mean, look at this. You ask anybody on paper who won this game, just look at the total yardage, you would think Tampa. But again, credit to this Carolina defense with the stops when they got down in the scoring area. The 2 turnovers earlier were big. But man, that was an important drive for Cam Newton. This offense finally showed some urgency to get down there and scored a touchdown to take the lead.
After the Buccaneers controlled the ball for over 5.5 minutes, but missed a field goal. Gave Carolina a short field, and they take advantage and have the lead, 22-19. They clinch a playoff spot with a victory. Kickoff sails through the end zone. What a game in Charlotte.
It's been a crazy day, hasn't it? First touchdown of the day was Demir Byrd breaking tackles on his way to a 103-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Special teams with the order of the day as well. Pallardy tries a fake punt. It's incomplete, but there's a pass interference, and that keeps the drive going for Carolina. And then, of course, the missed field goal by Patrick Murray right before this touchdown drive by Cam Newton in that offense.
So now Jameis Winston and the Bucs with one timeout will look to get into field goal range. 35 seconds remaining. Down goes Winston. Ball comes loose. And that will clinch a spot in the postseason for the Carolina Panthers.
We'll give it to this Carolina defense. That's their 6th sack of the day. They raised to the occasion when they needed to. They're going to get a victory at home.
We welcome those of you who have been watching the Saints and the Falcons. New Orleans clinched the playoff spot, and so will the Carolina Panthers following this sack of Jameis Winston by K'Wan Short. 6th sack for the Carolina defense. Buccaneers had the lead until moments ago. Cam Newton with a go-ahead touchdown, and now the Panthers will be able to run out the clock. Now players have come together, flags have been thrown as the Panthers start to celebrate on their sideline.
Oh, they should celebrate. They really should be celebrating the effort of this defense. Now, they gave up some yards. And that's Jameis Winston is fired up.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, number 3. Half the distance to the goal. The ball goes over to Carolina. First time.
Winston sacked for the 6th time. Turned it over for the 3rd time today. He's thrown for 367 yards, but obviously frustrated after the sack and the turnover.
He's an emotional young man. He always has been. He's fighting with Julius Peppers at the bottom of this pile to get this football back, and this is what he's upset about. He's claiming that he has the ball, but they had already awarded possession to Carolina.
Second fumble recovery for Peppers. So the Carolina Panthers are going to clinch a spot in the postseason. More flags. There's Peppers, had a sack earlier.
What's still going on the Bucs sideline with Jameis Winston? He needs to calm down now. This game is over. I understand his emotion. They put up a heck of a fight today trying to win this football game. He was the superstar today with 326 yards passing and touchdown.
Offense. The offense is not set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Wow.
No, you're right, Rodney. You can't do that. He's such an emotional guy and had a terrific game once again.
Understand his frustration, but they needed to have a drive at the end of the game. This Carolina defense stepped up, and they know coming into this game that it was going to be a tough one. Talking to K'Wan Short, who had that last sack fumble, said this team doesn't quit, but neither do they. A rough week for Carolina with the adversity, with the ownership change impending. They come out and win a tough game at home, and they're going to the playoffs in 2017.
You saw Jameis Winston chatting with referee Jerome Boger. Cam Newton with the game-winning touchdown. Panthers headed to the postseason. Where's he going? For Rondé Balmer.
Going to the playoffs, buddy.
Christina Pink and our entire crew. This is Kenny Albert. Now to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles with the State Farm Game Break.